Welcome to the channel, everyone. So I've had my Ranger for about a year now, and in this video I'm going to do a review on the Ranger, the pros and cons that I've found over the last about a year. I'm using this thing pretty much every day. I've got about 1,700 miles and a little over 380 some hours. Why are the hours so high? I do a lot of low speed tasks with this thing. Walking the dog, snow plowing, grading, mowing. All those, they add hours, but they don't add a lot of miles. So that's kind of why my hours are on the higher side when you compare it with the miles. So a few of the major specs on the Ranger 1500. It has a 1498 cc ProStar 3-cylinder gasoline engine, rated at 110 horse. It's got a towing capacity of 3,500 pounds with the 2-inch receiver in the rear. 1,500 pound capacity in the bed. The bed is also power tilt, and that is a standard on the 1500. The North Stars anyway, power dump is standard, which is a really nice feature. The 1500 also comes with a 6,000 pound Polaris branded winch. It is a 2-speed, meaning it has a high gear for rapid recovery, and that is also standard on the 1500 North Star. You have about 14 to 15 inches of ground clearance with the factory 30-inch tires, and that is probably with the suspension set at its softest from the factory. Okay, so the pros on this machine, there's quite a few. It's a little bigger than the 1000, so that means the cab feels a lot roomier than the 1000, which is really nice. So I think one of the biggest things on this 1500 is the transmission in this thing. It's unlike anything that the Ranger has ever seen. It is much more automotive-like. The shifting is like butter. It's a different experience, I will tell you that. It does take a little bit of getting used to. When I first got it, it seemed hard to regulate, but like I said, it's a little bit different experience than all the other Rangers I've ever had. So it takes a little bit of getting used to. So another thing that I really like about the 1500, they call it an XD for extreme duty. It is very heavy duty for a Ranger. I know the 1000s the suspensions are pretty light, and they don't want to carry a load very well. They want to really squat once you load them down. The 1500 handles the heavy loads, especially my rear back blade, handles that thing no problem. Super impressed. I mean, this is the Ranger that I've been waiting for, a Ranger that you can really work it. It's kind of like the 6x6, only they don't have 6 wheels. It's just 4 wheels. So everything on it is so much bigger than the 1000. You'll see the suspension, control arms, everything is huge when you compare it to the 1000. And this thing will work. And I believe that's what it's really designed for, doing heavy duty work. So another thing on these Ranger 1500s, everything feels a little more solid. I'm going to say a little more automotive. It is not automotive quality like yet, but if you compare it UTV wise, everything is much more solid. The doors are much more solid. The tailgate is way more solid when you compare it to a 1000. So in the back here, another thing I like is the 1500 bed is bigger than the 1000. I think it's quite a bit deeper. It's wider, it's longer, and it's just these beds on these UTVs they're pretty small as it is, and the 1500 kind of stepped up. It's still pretty small, but as far as UTV wise, it's got a very big bed. Okay, so another thing that works extremely well in this Ranger 1500, I'm in the cab here because it's the AC. I was out mowing, 90 some degrees, high humidity, had my AC on. It wasn't even on full blast. And I was comfortable, I was cool. It was hot out, and I was very comfortable in the cab. The heat works good. The heat in my 1000 worked excellent too. The heating and cooling system on these 1500s is very automotive like. You've got different zones that you can put this thing on, defrost, just like a car. The 1000 is pretty much, it just shoots out AC and heat kind of out through all the vents, which the 1500 you have much more control of your heat and AC. Okay, so the cons on this machine for me is they're mostly little mechanical problems. The first one is the shifter lock. Just like in your pickup, you have a lock where you have to push the brake to be able to get it out of park. Mine gets stuck sometimes. I got to give it a little tug back for it to actually unlock, and then it works fine. I've never had it completely lock in place, but I'm guessing there's something wrong with the lock mechanism for the shifter lock. Okay, the second mechanical thing I've had go wrong 3 times since I've owned it. I have fired it up. It sounds like it's running on 1 or 2 cylinders. Doesn't sound very good. I immediately shut it off, fired it back up, and it runs fine. I don't know, like I said, 3 times since I've owned it, it's done that. And I have a check engine light that comes on every once in a while. Every once in a while it comes on. I'll show the code. I guess it's just a standard fault code. I've heard that it's for the update, maybe for the engine and transmission computer. There's an update. I don't know if this one's had it or not. Like I said, I bought it slightly used. I don't have any trouble with anything besides what I'm mentioning here on the video, so I don't feel like I need the computer reprogrammed. I'm not having trouble going uphill or anything. Okay, so this next mechanical issue that I'm having is very common, and I think every 1500 has this issue. The early ones anyway. In the rear, you will hear a clicking noise. Seems like when you change direction, speed, it's a pretty pronounced clicking sound. From what I understand, the splines on the axle are not quite tight, not quite the spec they should have been, I guess. I am waiting to hear like a solid fix for that. I don't want to take it in, Polaris have this thing for a month, throw some axles on, same problem. I'm just going to wait till I know the fix, and I'm just going to fix it myself. So one final mechanical issue is, I guess it's not a mechanical issue, it's just something I've noticed. The machine has like a vibration. I'm not sure how to explain it. I think it's because of the 3-cylinder motor. My 1000 was smoother. Like I said, it's hard to explain, but the machine does have this like a vibration thing that my 1000 didn't have. Okay, so one more thing up front here that it's kind of a nitpicky thing that I don't like, but the wiper is a 1-speed wiper. So I think the 1500 should have come with at least a dual speed wiper, but probably it should have had a delayed wiper system on it. It gets annoying when it's kind of raining, when it's not pouring. So it's kind of a nitpicky con, but it is a con. So I've heard of people, quite a few people having water leaking into the cabs. Now mine, I've been out in the rain and everything. I've not seen any leaks in mine, so I can't speak on that problem because mine stays dry. But I have heard quite a few issues, especially the top of the windshield there, having leaks. But again, mine seems sealed. Again, kind of nitpicky. But the plastic on the roof is rubbing on this back window, and that's creates a vibration or a sound or whatever, really irritating. I have put a piece of rubber up there, but it falls out. So I will put a permanent piece of rubber up there eventually to stop that. But from the factory, that's doing that, so it is a con. Okay, so one con that just recently happened, I left a candy bar in my Ranger. I assumed this thing was sealed, but a mouse got in and chewed on that candy bar. So I'm shocked to find that out because I thought this cab was sealed. I know my 1000 was sealed. I never had any mice get inside that. I believe the hole where the wiring comes in the dash, my 1000 only had one hole and it was pretty tight. I see on this 1000 after looking at it, it's kind of loose. There's actually two holes for wiring. So I put a piece of rubber in front of that so it's double rubbered up. Okay, so here is the spot that I think the mice were getting in. You can see, well, you might not be able to see, but this is the second piece of rubber I stuck on there. I slit where the wires go, and I actually stuffed another piece of rubber right here around the wire just to make sure all this was super tight. You'd be surprised at how small a hole a mouse can get through. So you want this all sealed up, and hopefully that's going to keep the mice out. But yeah, just keep that in mind. You may want to deal with that when you get yours to keep the mice out. They can ruin the interior or something very quickly. Okay, so I'm going to take you through my mods real quick. I have videos on each one of these mods, so you can go check them out if you want to. But I did do custom shackles up front. You can get the factory ones, but I just wanted to get a little more custom look. Also got a matching hook for the winch. I added the lights in the bumper. Mine is a premium, is not ultimate, so I had to add those. I do have a couple strobes in the grill there. Up top, I did a custom rack with lighting, so I have basically 360 degrees of lighting at night. I didn't have to do anything for the rear because Polaris has a really nice reverse light back there. There's a switch in there and you can turn it on all the time. You can have it turn on with just when you're in reverse, and you can shut it off. But that is a really, I know it doesn't look like much, but it's a really nice light. I've got me a little strobe up top on the rack. In the bed, all I've done so far is I got a toolbox, and I'm not sure about that. It's pretty small, so I might be changing that up. I got a bed liner in there, a rubber mat, just to keep from scratching the bed up too bad. In the back here, I just got a shackle. It's a good idea to have a shackle there. Good pulling point. And then you see the wire. That is actually for a electric 3-point hitch. category 0 3-point hitch that I have on this thing that I use for the grader. So as far as maintenance wise, the only thing that I've done is I did change my oil, and I used the Extreme Polaris oil when I did that, and I've done the front differential. Guys, these things have very small fluid capacity for that front axle, and it's just a good idea to change that every so often, at least when they say. I think I did it a little early, but it was pretty gray, so you know, I changed that front axle fluid quite often on my Rangers. I have not got to the rear axle yet. I will be doing that shortly. And then the transmission, it will be I think it's 6,000 miles or something for that to have the filter and fluid changed. So that I've got quite a while before I get to that. But yeah, not a whole lot of maintenance. There is a grease cert on the front drive shaft. I actually, when I had the center console out, I did actually shoot that with some grease. Again, it's probably too early as far as what Polaris recommends, but I did it. I will say, guys, that I use my machine, I use my truck, my equipment. I do not abuse it. I think there's guys out there that abuse stuff. They can pretty much wreck anything, and they'll call stuff junk. But you know, if you're gonna be really, really hard on something and not use it as intended, you can break pretty much anything. But overall, this is a great machine. A few little quirks that I got to figure out so far, but overall, excellent machine. I love it. One thing is on these Rangers 1500s is the price point. The price point is very high for a UTV. If I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't buy a new one. I don't think they're worth that kind of money. I bought mine slightly used. Basically sold my Ranger 1000 crew cab, and I bought this regular cab 1500. I would buy a used one at a reasonable price any day, because like I said, very hard working, awesome machine, and I really do like it. So guys, like I said, that's gonna do it for this one. Check out the other videos. I got a whole playlist on this thing. Check out all the mods I've done. I'm gonna be doing future mods, so stay tuned for them. I got probably gonna change up the bed. I'm gonna do some organization for the bed. But anyway, guys, that's gonna do it. Subscribe, leave a comment. I'll see you guys.